Just Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host Fondue.
I'm Cheesy.
In honor of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, we're going to learn about cheese pumpkins.
What?
We're going to talk about pumpkin spice,
Ooh.
cream cheese pumpkin rolls, and cheese balls.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss stuffed pumpkins and pumpkin pie cheese pairings.
Whoa.
And of course, no episode would be complete without our very cheesy joke.
I love a joke.
Stay tuned for episode 105, Cheese Pumpkin, on Just Cheesy the Podcast. According to MountVernon.org, which is George Washington's Mount Vernon, there is something called the Long Island cheese pumpkin.
Cheese pumpkin?
Now, this pumpkin is not made of cheese.
Oh.
It's an actual pumpkin.
Whoa.
It's an eating pumpkin,
Yeah.
and it's suited for making pies.
Ooh, yum.
And according to LIRSC.org, which is the Long Island Regional Seed Consortium, they actually had a project called the Long Island Cheese Pumpkin Project.
Okay.
But they've actually abandoned the project
Oh, no.
because they could not vouch for the narrative of this variety.
Ooh.
They don't actually know if there's a distinct heirloom named the Long Island Cheese Pumpkin.
Oh.
But for our purposes, it doesn't really matter if there's a Long Island cheese pumpkin.
Nope.
I'm just amazed that there's something called a cheese pumpkin in general.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently, some issues have been going on since 1841.
Whoa.
They claim that this pumpkin has a confusing nomenclature.
Oh.
It's been called a lot of different names by various seed companies. They had one called the Kentucky Field Pumpkin or Buff Pie Pumpkin. They even say that there are over 100 varieties that qualify as a cheese pumpkin around the world.
Holy cow.
And they're called cheese pumpkin because
They're made of cheese?
No.
Because they taste like cheese?
No.
They have milk.
No, because they look a little bit like cheese.
Oh.
They're not bright orange like a regular pumpkin.
Okay.
They're more of a cream color.
Oh.
I'm sure they make a delicious pie.
Yeah.
According to beamstercheese.us, they have a pumpkin spice cheese.
Ooh.
It has cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, and ginger, and it's blended into young Gouda.
Whoa.
They say here it goes well with ham or raisin nut bread.
Ooh.
And the drink pairings are Malbec, Chardonnay,
Okay.
farmhouse ale, and cider.
Yummy.
At this time of the year, all we seem to hear about is pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Did you know that pumpkin spice is over 223 years old?
No way.
In 1798, Amelia Simmons had a cookbook called American Cookery. There are 2 recipes for pumpkin pie.
Whoa.
One is made with nutmeg and ginger, the other with allspice and ginger. But it wasn't until 1930 where the spice manufacturer like McCormick and Company came out with a revolutionary product.
Okay.
They had something called pumpkin pie spice.
Yeah.
It's a pre-blended mix, and it meant that bakers could buy one spice instead of a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Today's blend includes 4 spices:
Okay.
cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice.
Ooh.
Beamster adds some cheese, but there are several others.
Okay.
According to culturecheesemag.org, Murray's has a cave-aged limited buttered pumpkin cheese.
Ooh.
They start with St. Stephen, a triple cream cheese.
Okay.
They blend some of the unaged cheese, fall spices, and annatto to create a pumpkin-inspired stripe.
Ooh.
Fromagère dauphinoise,
Oh, boy.
or something like that, I'm sorry, with roasted pumpkin seeds is another one.
Ooh.
It's a double and triple cream cheese.
Yum.
And it incorporates actual roasted pumpkin seeds to give it a unique crunchy texture.
Ooh.
Cello has a pumpkin spice rubbed wedge.
Ooh.
The cheese is rubbed with cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, and a touch of honey.
Ooh, yum.
La Claire has a pumpkin goat cheese log.
Ooh.
This one has some pumpkin pie spice puree
Ooh.
and a hint of cinnamon.
Ooh, yum.
And Hennings has a pumpkin spice cheddar cheese.
Whoa.
They recommend putting this cheese on top of sweet potatoes
Ooh.
or incorporating it into ginger snap cookies.
Ooh, really?
Hennings is not a sponsor.
Nope.
But when they are, the ad will go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah.
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
They do?
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay!
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code CHEESY, that'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay, Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. According to Wikipedia.org, a roulade can be either a dish filled of rolled meat or rolled pastry.
Ooh.
An involtini is a roulade that has thin slices of beef, pork, or chicken rolled with a filling of grated cheese like Parmesan or Pecorino Romano.
Yum.
And the pastry version usually consists of cake, like a sponge cake, that's baked in a flat pan rolled around a filling.
Ooh.
They can sometimes be rolled around jam, buttercream, nuts, and other fillings.
Ooh.
They also sometimes call this a Swiss roll. Again, according to Wikipedia, the Swiss roll would be filled with whipped cream, jam, or icing.
Ooh.
At Thanksgiving, the most popular roulade or Swiss roll is the pumpkin roll.
Ooh, yeah.
And let me tell you, we've got a family member that makes a mean pumpkin roll.
Yeah, we do.
This is a soft pumpkin cake filled with silky cream cheese frosting.
Yeah.
The PreppyKitchen.com has a great recipe for this.
Ooh.
You make a really thin pumpkin cake.
Ooh, yeah.
You spread the delicious cream cheese filling on top,
Right.
and then you wrap it into a roll. You place it in plastic wrap and you chill for at least an hour.
Ooh.
That helps keep it together when you slice it into its quintessential pinwheel slice.
Ooh.
Epicurious.com has a recipe for a pumpkin stuffed with what they're saying is everything good.
Ooh.
They basically hollow out a pumpkin.
Whoa.
They add a 1/4 pound of stale bread,
Okay.
a 1/4 pound of cheese,
Ooh.
such as Gruyere, Emmenthal, cheddar, or a combination, and they cut those into 1/2-inch chunks.
Ooh, yum.
They put in some garlic, 4 slices of bacon, which is crisped,
Ooh.
and some fresh chives or scallions.
Sounds good.
Then they add about a 1/3 cup of heavy cream and a pinch of nutmeg.
Whoa.
The pumpkin goes on the center rack at 350 degrees.
Ooh.
This gets baked for about 2 hours.
Whoa.
And then if you're lucky, it stayed together and you might be able to slice it, and it's sort of like a souffle.
Wow.
In the past, we've made a pumpkin-shaped cheese ball.
Yeah, we have.
The cheese balls we make are relatively easy. We take an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, a package of shredded cheddar cheese,
Oh, yeah.
and a packet of Knorr vegetable soup mix.
Ooh.
We cream the cream cheese with the soup mix and add in the cheddar cheese. Form it into a ball, and if you take some plastic wrap and either some twine or some dental floss, you can actually use that to carve in the edging like a pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
And then you take that off, it's formed into a ball, and sometimes we take a green onion stem for the top.
Ooh, yeah.
If you check out our Instagram, there are pictures of this lovely cheese ball.
Yeah, there are.
According to EMMIUSA.com, there are pairings for pumpkin pie.
Whoa.
They recommend different types of Gouda and Gruyere as the pairing for pumpkin pie.
Ooh, yum.
But did you know that there's something called pie cheese?
What?
According to cheeseconnoisseur.com, cheddar has been one of the cheeses that's made it to the top of apple pie.
Whoa.
In fact, the Vermont State Assembly passed a law in 1999 naming apple pie as the Vermont State Pie.
Wow.
It noted that a good faith effort must be made when serving pie in the state to offer it with cold milk, ice cream, and or a slice of cheddar,
Whoa.
weighing a minimum of 1/2 ounce.
Holy cow.
Later in the article, they have the pie and cheese pairing pie chart. One of the pumpkin pie pairings they have here is a thin rind cream lined cheese.
Ooh.
The other one is a hot habanero cheddar.
What?
They say it goes with pumpkin pie spices like cloves.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
Okay, What did Cheese say to the pumpkin after they won at tennis?
Ooh, I don't know.
We really squashed the competition. We're a really Gouda team.
Not funny.
You may not have liked it or thought it was funny, but it was definitely a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 105, Cheese Pumpkin.
Thank you.
Be sure to check us out on YouTube, where we've begun to show our animated version of the podcast.
Stay cheesy, everybody.